G'day, Stu here from UAV Futures, and today, well, we're going to be checking out these little purple bad boys right here. Now what these are the new Storm motors from DYS, and I absolutely loved, if I can find it somewhere right here, I absolutely loved their little brothers, the Fire motors right here from DYS, and that's how this quad got its name, because it was a Hawk frame, so it became the Fire Hawk, all because of those motors. So what we're going to be doing today is checking out their bigger, badder brothers right here, the Storm motors. So these are a pretty cool looking motor, and as it would happen, I've actually got Grumpy Trev's Chameleon here. So this is Grumpy Trev's. He had a bit of a crash the other day, or something happened where he buggered up one of his motors. So what we're going to be doing, I thought what better chance or what better opportunity to put some new motors on there, rip a few packs and test out how these motors are going to go. So what we're going to do, we're going to stick the motor on the bench, give it a bit of a quick overview, a quick look, a little bit of a rundown, and then most importantly, we're going to take it out to the field, put the motors on this, well first we'll put the motors on this quad, take it out to the field, rip a whole bunch of packs through it. I'll tell you my impressions and show you some flight footage, and we'll also get Grumpy Trev to give a bit of a shout out and talk about what he thinks, comparing especially his ZMX motors, which he did enjoy, to the DYS Storm motors. Alrighty, enough rambling from me, let's stick it on the bench and get started. Alrighty, so here's the little bad boy on the bunch. On the bench, I don't know what I'm doing there. And the first thing a lot of people are going to notice is just how cool these bad boys look. So if you're looking to pimp out your quadcopter, I definitely think these things have a certain amount of flair to them. But does that count when the goggles are down and you're trying to smash those lap times? So that's really what we're here about. So let's do a little quick overview of the motor itself before we take it out and fly it around. So it's a 22, even though it doesn't say it on here, it's a 2207 motor, so it's got a really, really tall stator, which should mean it should be able to handle some of those heavier prop loads a little bit better. This one I've got here, it's 2300 kV, and I believe there is some other options out there to get like some 2700 kV or whatever they are. I'll link them down below anyway in the exact ones that are in the description. But I've got the 2300 kV version. I think that's pretty good for a heavy prop load, I guess. So you can spin quite a heavy prop on here. Should result in a ton of torque and a ton of, I guess, that low-end grunt that you can get from some of the bigger motors. I'm not sure how it's going to go versus some of the higher kV motors out there though. But the reason I'm so excited about this one is because it's very, very similar to the Fire motors. Oh, and I should mention, it does come in a sort of pretty cool little box right here. So there's the Storm box that it comes in, a little plastic one. But it's very, very similar to the Fire motors, and I really, really like these DYS Fire motors right here. Hopefully you can see this. I'll flash some pictures up anyway, because it might be out of focus, but that's what gave this entire build its name. So this is the Hawk frame with Fire motors, so I called this thing the Fire Hawk. So hopefully if I put it on something, if I put this on something, maybe I'd call it the Storm Hawk. So I do like how they're naming their motors. It does make it a little bit easier, but what we should do now, let's weigh the thing, because that's something a lot of people are going to want to know before we take it out and fly it around and put them on Trev's Chameleon. Here's one of the red bottoms right there, so that's coming in at about 30 grams. Let's put on this motor right here, and I'm expecting a little bit more. Yeah, 36 grams, so a little bit of a heavier motor, and that's because the stators in here are significantly larger. So this is, like I said before, a 2207 motor, and that's going to result in, I think, a heap of torque and being able to pump out a very, very heavy hardcore prop, so it should be going very, very fast, or at least that's the plan anyway. These bigger motors meant to be able to handle a bigger load, and probably this would be a lot better suited as well to maybe some 6-inch builds. So if you wanted to rock some 6-inch props in the future, this could possibly be one of the motors that you're after. Alrighty, so there's a little bit of an overview of the motors themselves. Now what we've got to do, we're going to be sticking them, because I've got Trev's Chameleon right here. He busted one of his ZMX motors up pretty bad the other day, so it's not working too well. So what we're going to do, we're going to put these Storm motors on the Chameleon, take it out and rip it around, and we'll get my impressions what it's like with flying around with the Storm motors, because I've got a Chameleon very, very similar to this one. So we're flying this around, and we'll also get Grumpy Trev's comparison, and we'll see what he thinks about the ZMX motors that he used to fly with, and then the upgrade to the racing Storm motors. Alright, let's cut down to the field. Let's do it in 3, 2, 1. Alright, down here in the field, we're going to be checking out these Storm motors. So this is actually Trev's Chameleon right here. That's why it looks so beat up. But we put these new Storm motors on here. So we used to have the ZMXs. One of them went a bit funny. So let's see how it goes with these bad boys, because I'm pretty excited, and Trev's sort of been raving about them as well. So let's do it. I better change my VTX channel on my goggles. Oh, your colours are nice. Did you play with them?
Always play with my colours.
Alrighty, so here we are on board with the GoPro footage flying around, the DYS Storm motors, and of course it's on Trev's quad, so I'm a little bit tentative when flying things around with someone else's quad, because the last time I flew someone else's quad, I crashed it into a tree and it exploded into bits, and yeah, sorry Phaser FPV. Anyway, on with talking about these Storm motors. So they are super smooth. That's the thing that I couldn't get over. They felt so smooth through the entire stick motion of the throttle, and so much so I actually found it a little bit difficult. It just wanted to go, like it just wanted to, there's a little bit of a punch out right there. It just wanted to shoot straight up into the sky. So on a really, really short course with a few twists and turns, I was actually having a little bit of trouble. What I should have done if I could go back, I'd probably adjust Trev's tilt a little bit more, because this thing, it just wanted to go with these motors on here. Now, compared to my Oomph motors, look, it'd be fairly much for muchness, I'd say. They both feel great, and could I tell a massive difference? Not really. Like, my Oomph motors feel great that I have on my Chameleon, and I don't know how Trev's ZMX motors felt, but flying around with these, I'd be happy just to switch these out and put these on my quad. So, you know, it's either 6 of one, half a dozen of another. It was a very, very sort of similar flying experience. Where I think these motors would probably shine would be on a bigger, straighter course, with maybe rocking some 6-inch props or something like that, where it really, really calls for that high 2207 size motor, so where you're going to get the most out of that. But on a short course like this, yeah, I don't know, it felt like a fantastic motor, and if you can get a deal on some, definitely, you know, pick some up. I've got no qualms with them at all. But is it like a massive upgrade? I'm not 100% sure. They still felt super great, super smooth. Probably the smooth part was the part that I was most impressed with. But on top of that, yeah, I'd just say a pretty cool, decent motor, but nothing super amazing, but also still very good quality. Anyway, what we should do, I think I'm going to bring it in for a landing soon, and then we'll jump it over to Grumpy Trev, and he can give you his comparisons. Anyway, Trev, I'm going to bring it in, and then I want to know your comparisons, because you've just upgraded, and you can talk about how these are compared to your ZMXs. See if I can land this nicely.
The answer is no. It goes all right, doesn't it, Stu?
Yeah, well, it's super smooth. I can definitely see why you were struggling in this little short course.
It was too powerful.
It just wants to punch out.
It just wants to go very.
A lot of power. They're pretty cool too. The motors aren't coming down warm, which is good. Alrighty, so we've got Trev flying around. I guess he's going to talk us through how it feels upgrading from his ZMXs to the Storm motors. Alright, so what happened to your ZMXs? Trev, tell us that.
The ZMXs, one of the stators become loose, and I didn't hit anything with it, which was a bit annoying, and the motor was, so to speak. So we thought we'd try some of these. These are great. Well, I could have got more grunt than the other ones. I'm liking these. It's a little bit too much power for where we're flying at the moment, and I reckon these have got more grunt. Oh, 3. Oh.
Okay, we're not doing a take 4, so you're just gonna have to sum it up now, Trev. Wait, stay here.
Well, look, they're great. I love them. Plenty of grunt, more than what I had. Just can't handle them just yet, but that's coming. Alrighty,
so there it is. There's my review for the DYS Storm motors, and overall I think they're really smooth, quality motor that a lot of people are going to have a lot of fun with. And the 2207 stator, I think a lot of people are going to be able to really prop that up, and hopefully we'll see some cool stuff with some 6-inch props. I know Trevor's going to be loving it. I just want to give a bit of a shout out to Trev, so if you haven't seen his channel, I'll link it down below. I'll leave a card up here. Definitely go check out his videos, because he puts some quite funny stuff up sometimes. But other than that, subscribe for more FPV related content, and as always, happy flying. It feels so weird doing this without the actual quad in my hand. Anyway, because I've given it back to Trevor. Alrighty, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel and check out these videos. And I'm also going to leave a little link here to my Patreon page, because I've got some fantastic Patreon supporters and I like to give back to them as well. So if you want to join the UAV Futures family, there's things like bonus Velcro straps, little bundles of FPV goodies and things like that that also get sent out. Anyway, happy flying.